My name is Maurice Velasquez,
And I'm John Shirt,
and this is Winning in the Workplace.
powered by Team Real World.
Unless we get this under control and we're able to manage our time better, it's going to negatively impact everything that we do. Everything from getting overwhelmed, feeling like we're getting bogged down, not feeling like we can get ahead, or even feeling like it's just everything, we're just backed up on everything. These habits that we're going to cover today are essential for everyone to learn, whether you're an executive, whether you're a middle manager. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are in the organizational chart. As much as managers should be able to manage their teams and manage their individual players, everyone has to be responsible to manage themselves. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and anyone who's been financially successful, they have the same number of hours that we all have. You have 40 hours in the work week, I have 40 hours in the work week. No one's making more time, so how is it that some people are more productive than others? Let's go through these 7 habits, and I want to encourage you that every workshop out there, as I mentioned to you earlier, they're all saying several things about how to become better at time management. But all of them boil down to these 7 habits. And one way or the other, they're all saying the same thing. I'm not discouraging you at all from reading more books on it, from taking more courses on it. It is highly encouraged for you to become better and better at it. But when it's all said and done, everyone is always talking about these 7 things in one way, fashion, or the other. So we're trying to make it very simple for you, effective, practical. Let's discuss those 7 habits that should help you become a better manager of your time. All right, so let's take a look at this. The first thing we need to keep in mind is that time management is like a domino effect, okay? If you don't take the first step, it's going to impact the other steps. If you don't take step 5 correctly, it's going to impact your other habits. Look at them as a row of dominoes and consider that by being able to manage your time better and getting ahead, you have to remember the domino effect working against us, all right? You want to make sure that all these habits, you are regularly visiting them every week and asking yourself, which habit are you good at? Which habit are you weak at? And which ones do you need some perhaps accountability with your peers? I'm usually pretty good at most of these habits, except habit number 5. If I don't do step 5, which I'm the weakest at, it has a horrible impact on me for the following week. So we'll take a look at it. So remember, gauge yourself and evaluate yourself on a regular basis and don't give up. This isn't like a Coke machine that you can stick a quarter in or 50, 75 cents, press a button and it's fixed. Or like when you go to an Excel class, you press file save and then it's like, that's not the way this works. This takes long time to perfect, to get better at, and because you're going to be hit with a lot of interruptions from all sources, you just got to get better at it. So just keep practicing and keep becoming better at it. All right, the first step is this, that at the beginning of the week, you have to start your day with 6 key tasks that you want to accomplish by the end of the day. You would say, Maurice, duh, of course everyone knows that. Well, yeah, but most of us don't do this. What most of us do is that we forget that Monday comes with a tremendous amount of regularity. And we start off our week basically going to work and saying, well, I'm just going to get to see what all emails I have, and then I'll figure out what it is I'm supposed to do. That is the wrong approach. You need to have a much proactive approach and start your day with 6 key tasks that you want to accomplish. For example, today, one of my tasks was to record this video. Okay, to record this session. I made sure that today this was accomplished because this is a major task for me. Now, a lot of things have happened today that could have pulled me away, but I had to go back and look at my priority list, see what I'm supposed to be doing, and say, no, this is a major task. I have to get this done. So I made sure it is in one of my top 6 tasks. So remember, step number 1 is you start off with your 6 tasks that you have to get accomplished by the end of Monday. This is where you create your to-do list. Now, whether you create your to-do list on your phone or whether you create your to-do list on a paper pad like you see here, or you keep it on a computer, right now we don't have to get into the exact mechanics of it, but the most important thing is, do you have a list that you regularly build and that you're regularly visiting all the time? Or do you use a sticky pad one day and you use your phone the other day and perhaps you use your email as your task list? Well, let me discourage you from that. Stick to one method, to one tool. Create your task list, and yes, it does have to be written down. These things have to be written. If you walk around with things that you know you have to get done, but you're basically keeping them in your mental cavity in your brain without writing them down, it's not the same thing. And then you have to prioritize them. Identify which ones are your top 6 items and then which ones are your secondary items. Habit number 2 is you have to have a commitment that once you write them down, you have to put those tasks on your schedule. All right, you can't just say, I have these tasks that I'm going to do and I'll get to them when I can. Well, no, that's how you treat your lesser goals. But your top 6 goals, you have to block out time for them and say, I'm going to take 30 minutes and do that here. I'm going to take an hour and do that here. I'm going to basically block out specific time throughout the day, and it's got to hit my schedule, all right? Why? Because you're going to get interrupted, and that's where you have to negotiate interruptions with other people. We're going to spend just a couple more minutes talking about this, but this right here is where everyone's time management explodes and goes into an oblivion. Why? Because we don't know how to negotiate interruptions. We get people knocking on our door and say, hey, you got a couple minutes? Or hey, look, I need to call you into a meeting. Can you come to a meeting? Or look, I need you to help me with something. And we don't want to be saying all the time, no, because we come across as not being teamwork oriented or collaborative with other people. And sometimes some interruptions are necessary, all right? But the problem that we have in time management is that we don't know how to negotiate our time. We say yes all the time. We say yes to, sure, I got 5 minutes, and then it becomes 15 minutes. And what I'm not communicating to others is that I'm going to have to put some things to the side, or I'm going to have to push some things back. The biggest trap here is that oftentimes the negotiating that needs to happen is with our boss and our supervisor. Whenever your boss comes to you and says, hey, look, I need you to do this, or I need to talk to you about this because I need you to do the following, we tend to say, sure, okay, yeah, it's got to get done, but we don't let them know that, look, let me see if I understand. I need to do this and this, but let me tell you what I'm going to have to drop or what I'm going to have to push back in order to do that. If we don't negotiate with our bosses, our supervisors, whenever we can tell that we're being put upon, that more information and more tasks are placed upon us, well, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, you're going to be overwhelmed. Your boss is going to be the one that holds you accountable for everything that they thought of in the last 6 weeks or 12 weeks. And at that point, when you're being held accountable, it's going to be very easy for you to say things like, well, but I was doing this that you gave me, and I was doing that you gave me. And look, I had a supervisor that once when I said that, she looked at me and she said, so Maurice, are you saying it's my fault? And I said, no, I didn't mean to imply that it's not your fault. And she said, but when I came to you and I asked you to do these things, you said you could. And right then and there, about 14, 16 years ago, is when I realized, wow, I am saying yes a lot. I am not negotiating those interruptions. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to tell my boss no. Well, no one's saying tell your boss no. What we're saying is negotiate and have the dialogue necessary with your boss, with your supervisor, so you can collaborate and coordinate the priority of the things that you're working on. Because if you don't speak up about what you're working on, well, they don't know, they're not keeping up. And if you don't speak up, they're going to forget, and later when they want to hold you accountable, you're the one that didn't speak up. So keep this in mind. It's got to hit your schedule, okay? You have to leave time for those interruptions, but you have to negotiate those interruptions. Remember, professionalism and relationships are based on negotiated agreements. If you say yes, you're bound to doing it. So before you say yes, you have to negotiate those interruptions. Notice, I'm spending a lot of time on number 2 because number 2 is a major trap that we all fall into that impacts everything else. All right, so let's go to number 3. At the end of the day, you need to leave about 10 to 15, 20 minutes a day to go through your list and identify what are those things that I accomplished, what are those things I didn't accomplish. I forward them to the next day or 2 days later, and then I build my list for the next day. Don't go into the next day without any kind of preparation. So therefore, your Tuesday, you're starting it off with yet another list, all right? So you want to close your day. This helps you disconnect so you can say, all right, it's time to go home and then take care of those things at home, all right? And it allows you to focus and having more of a home life balance. Close your day at the end of the day, then come back on Tuesday and repeat the process, which gets into item number 4, which is this. Step number 4 is you repeat steps 1, 2, and 3 on Tuesday. Then you repeat them on Wednesday. Then you repeat them on Thursday. And this step, although it seems monotonous, is one of the most effective ones because this is what allows you to create consistency, reliability. It gets you into a pattern and people around you can tell that you are an organized individual, all right? So don't get discouraged about the monotony of this. This is all about time management. You build your list on one day, you protect your goals and your tasks from interruptions, from over commitments, you close your day at the end of the day, and then you make your list for the next day. Don't get discouraged about the monotony of this or that it feels like it's just the same old, same old. It is the same old, but that's what allows you to get consistent, all right? It takes routine, but it works. It's very effective. All right, let's go to step number 5. Step number 5 is real simple, and that is this, that in order for you not to waste time and yet accomplish more throughout the week is that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, schedule your meetings with others for the next week. In other words, don't wait for Monday to schedule your meetings for that week. You want to get on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, you want to get on the schedule of other folks for next week and 2 weeks ahead. It's incredible when you put this step to practice how many meetings are not canceled on you because you arranged and you got commitments with others 1 to 2 weeks in advance. Instead of waiting for Monday and then trying to cram in all your meetings for that week and everyone's trying to push each other away because everybody feels the rat race of Mondays and it's not productive. So step number 5 allows you to get ahead. Step number 6 allows you to then say, all right, at the end of the week, on Friday, I'm going to close my week and I'm going to prepare my list for Monday. So just like we do at the end of the day where we close our days and we prepare for tomorrow, on Fridays, make sure that you go over your list. That's probably going to take a little longer, probably 45 minutes to an hour, even up to an hour and a half, but that's okay. This is what it takes to get organized. You sit down for an hour and a half at the end of Friday or before you head on home. If you take off half a day on Fridays, well then that's fine. Just do it before you go home and prepare your list for Monday. If you can get ahead, even do the list for Monday and Tuesday, all right? Then enjoy the weekend. Disconnect, go home, enjoy your time off, and then go to step number 7. Step number 7 is on Sunday night, brush off your list and prepare yourself for Monday. You've already forgotten what the list was anyway, so just brush it off and remind yourself that, hey, tomorrow morning, I gotta get up because I gotta do these things, all right? What you don't wanna do is start your week all of a sudden kind of having to remind yourself on your way to work. No, what you wanna do is remember an old story. You probably heard this before about the lions and the gazelles in Africa, okay? It goes like this, that in Africa, every morning when the sun comes up, every gazelle knows that it needs to run faster than the slowest lion so that it doesn't get eaten up. All right? And the lions, they all wake up in the morning knowing that the slowest lion has to run faster than the slowest gazelle in order to survive. Well, the application of that is this, that in time management and in getting ahead, it doesn't matter whether you're a lion or whether you're a gazelle. What it means is this, is that when the sun comes up on Monday morning, on Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning, you better already be running. So when the sun comes up, that's not when you want to say, I wonder what I'm going to do today. No, what you want to do is you want to prepare your list the day before so that mentally you're ready for tomorrow. You get a good night's sleep. When the sun comes up, you get up and you're already running. Don't give up. This is very mundane. It's very repetitive, but it's all about being excellent so we can win in the workplace. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Maurice. Again, this is Winning in the Workplace, powered by Team Real World.